Hello, and welcome to another reading from the book Power of Purity by Mohanji. This is from a section in the book called Spiritual Progress, and it is about deserving levels. And this section looks like Mohanji is collecting many different comments, maybe around why certain people have certain access to people and don't, or some people are progressing. So basically around inequalities. And this is what he says. There are numerous questions on inequalities on all levels, hence I am generalizing. I know that generalization will not help much to give clarity, but I hope it will give a broad understanding. Masters over generations have taught us you are what you think, you are what you eat, and you are what you believe. Tradition has given us various paths for liberating ourselves. We have chosen some and chosen to ignore some. We have always displayed our individuality in this aspect. All of us are unique combinations, and our choices are also reflected in our uniqueness. We lived what we are. We saw things as what we are. We heard as what we are. We never saw or heard what actually is, but we saw according to what we are. We can only understand a matter according to our faculty and not as what the matter actually is. Hope this is clear. This is one fundamental limitation of our existence in the sensory levels. Grossly speaking, the driver of the vehicle was the mind, and we seldom knew the path, though we were vaguely aware of our destination. Even the awareness of our destination has been created through books or words of others. We were always unsure, so navigation of life was impossible. The driver took us through what he thought as the right path. He did not forget to stop at the right restaurants and other areas of traveller's relief. We were generally happy. At least there was movement, if not progress. And we are generally comfortable. Now, how do we measure our progress? Is it the tangible distance that we covered or the seeming proximity to our destination? Road signs were right, but wrong choices and detours on the way delayed the progress. We decided to check with pedestrians or seemingly reliable people on the way about the way ahead. They gave us their opinion, which gave temporary satisfaction. Some opinions helped the progress, some were grossly wrong and took us back to square one. We moved on. There was no way to ascertain progress. Some were happy that the change in scenes at least destroyed the monotony. Finally, we decided to end the journey. This was because either the fuel was finished or because we could not travel any further. Refueling and resumption of the journey, thus we have been traveling through generations with our minds as the driver. Mind cannot have absolute clarity about the destination. It is following signs and assumptions. It is also following many opinions from seemingly superior minds. Some of them have vested interests and selfish motives. We have always failed to understand that. This was causing delays and diversion. When clarity is lacking, progress is slow. When clarity is absolute, progress is better. We know that. Traveling is easy when we don't have much baggage. Less luggage, more comfort. Shedding happens periodically, whether we like it or not. Benevolence and explicit expressions of love and kindness bring forth an easier transit. More people will aid your journey. Self-centeredness and selfishness slows us down. Thus, life goes on. Inadequacies take birth in our mind first and then get reflected in our life. Life is only a reflection of our own subconscious mind. Emotion plus action becomes karma. The stronger the emotion, the deeper the imprint in the mind. Repetitive thoughts, words, and actions will strengthen the chance of a tangible result. Continuous negation brings complex results. When we keep shifting from positive to negative thoughts, words, and actions, results will be complicated. Thus, we create our own destiny. The soul never interferes. Positive and benevolent action without many thoughts will reverse our mindset. Just do it. Too much intellectualization and postponement of action will destroy one's self-esteem. Silence and inaction due to indecisiveness will lead to decay in self-esteem and mental depression. Silence due to inner abundance leads to complete enlightenment. It is that simple. It is not through doing that you can attain enlightenment, it is through being. Life is not complicated. Purity of thoughts, words, and actions can never lead you to depression. Due to these, even if there is failure on terrestrial terms, you will still have the inner strength to survive the failure, no doubt. All sorts of positive emotions help create positive results in the future. Action happens now, results might be delayed. Every action has an appropriate result. The residue of all actions gets stored in the subconscious and gets transferred to the next life, if it could not be fulfilled in this one. Since the data stored had all of the ingredients to create a great drama, it gets played out in the next life. The reason for the script is unsure, your exact role is unsure, the scriptwriter's identity is also unsure, the actor plays his role within the permitted lines. Inequalities are a matter of the mind. The soul has nothing to do with it. Mind compares between the past and the present, and also between one and another. It breeds discontent based on inequalities. This creates fear, anxiety, jealousy, and many other things. It has the potential to destroy oneself and also others. Wars happen in the mind first and spill over into the nation. With peace, it is the same. So accept of oneself is the necessity. It gives peace of mind, shanti. So acceptance of oneself is the necessity. It gives peace of mind, shanti. So this is a section on deserving levels. It's titled Deserving Levels, but it's really speaking about inequalities on all levels as a general. It's speaking about inequalities on all levels in general. And Mohanji is generalized here and given a story to help people understand why there might be differences. Why is this person got this in life and I don't have this? How come I'm so fortunate and somebody else is less fortunate? And all of the other things which you can imagine under that topic. So masters gave one teaching here throughout generations. You are what you think, you are what you eat, and you are what you believe. So thoughts being the first level of creation, leading to then action or expressions, and then the corresponding result, is going to create an effect in your life. And the results of that, you don't know now or later. So positive is obviously going to bring positive, and negative, negative. So this is the source of where the inequality might have stemmed. You are what you eat. Now, you might originally go straight to food consumption, some nice toast, tea, a nice dosa or something, but consumption is related to eating. So consumption can also mean the information that we're taking in. The media, the news, social media, thoughts, opinions, gossips of other people, that's all consumption, all eating. And you are what you believe. This can be as well looked at in many dimensions, actually. Belief in relation to general existence in life, but also belief in yourself. What do you believe about yourself, about your capabilities, about your qualities, your strengths, your basic esteem? Also belief is in your faith. You believe in something higher. So you are what you think, you are what you eat, and you are what you believe. Starting from that will shape ultimately your destiny. Now here, it then gives a bit of a diversion, but because this is all in the context of spirituality and progress, is my assumption from reading, it explains that the tradition has given many paths for liberating ourselves. Liberating means going beyond the mind, going beyond the senses, our typical normal terrestrial existence, and connecting with the energy within, consciousness, supreme consciousness, the ultimate promise of human life. So what it says here is that we're all unique, completely unique. And so our choices also reflect our uniqueness. And so our life, what we see, what we hear, what we think, what we speak, it's all according to what we are, all according to how we are, how we understand things, and our projection of ourself and our understanding into the world. And that's our limitation on a sensory level. So the vehicle, or the driver of the vehicle, was the mind. Always our mind, with its thoughts, comparisons, judgments, its intellect, all of the faculties of the mind was the driver. And we only vaguely knew where we were going in the destination. We were always unsure. And so the mind took us on what it thought was the right path. In here, the book, it's saying, sometimes there was some progress, and even if there wasn't progress, maybe spiritually or for satisfaction in life, there was some movement activity happening, and that kept the mind entertained. But how do we measure our progress? That seeming proximity of the destination. So road signs are always right, but wrong choices, detours happened on the way. Maybe we followed a certain path, or got sidetracked with an opinion, or many things could happen. So people gave seemingly reliable advice, which might not have been turned out to be too good. They gave an opinion, which gave temporary satisfaction. So either way, these type of things happened in our life, these meetings, and we moved on. So we finally, it says here, end the journey. So at that point in time, refueling or carrying on of the journey is necessary. And I think that's talking about the transition from one life to the next. So we continue, and we continue to meet people who can help us on this journey. But some have vested interests. They have something of a self-interest. So that again causes another detour. So generally, he's speaking, when the clarity is less, the destination is more slow. But when clarity is absolute, progress is better. So when we're clear on what we want, when we're clear where we want to go, when we're clear on a path, things happen. And having less luggage means more comfort. So less hangover of the past, less carrying on our guilt and regrets and things like this helps. And benevolence, expressions of love, kindness, these all help on the journey. They bring a much easier transit in life, these positive thoughts, this positive way of being. Whereas being self-centered and selfish completely slows us down. But life goes on. So inadequacies first take birth in the mind. That understanding that, well, in the mind of saying, okay, there's something not quite right here. And that gets reflected into our own life. It gets imprinted in our own subconscious mind. And then with emotions associated with that, maybe jealousy or anger or frustration, this becomes a recipe for karma in the future. That emotion binds us to that thought, imprints in the subconscious, and will create something of a situation for us to repeat in the future. So repetitive thoughts, repetitive words, and repetitive actions will strengthen the chance of a tangible result. So going back to the start of this, you are what you think, you are what you eat, you are what you believe. So repetitions of this is quite a profound teaching actually, when I just reading it and thinking about it a bit more. Repetitive actions, thoughts, words will strengthen that tangible result. If things are of thoughts of a positive nature, of a benevolent nature, of an abundant nature, of a compassionate nature, and our actions are also like that again and again, the result will become this. Whereas negative, anger, frustration, jealousies, bitterness, more and more reinforcements of those will create that in the future. Thus, we create our own destiny. Very, very important to realize. Thus, we create our own destiny. Moment to moment, we are creating it through our thoughts, through our words, through our actions. The soul never interferes. This is the energy that's inside. And Mohanji speaks about this in very simple terms, actually. In a room, you might have many different appliances. For example, now I have a phone, I actually have a ring light, there's a TV here as well, and there's lights too. So each of these is a different device, but electricity is the same. Electricity doesn't care whether it's coming through a phone, through a light, through a television, it just energizes it. The soul is the same, it never interferes. So positive actions and benevolent actions without many thoughts will reverse any negative mindset. So just do it. Too much intellectualization and postponement will destroy our self-esteem. So take the step. Otherwise, we'll start to feel much more bad about ourselves. So silence and inaction due to indecisiveness will lead to a decay in self-esteem and mental depression. Silence due to inabundance leads to complete enlightenment. It is that simple. Not through doing that you can attain enlightenment, it is through being. Life is not complicated. Purity of thoughts, words, and action can never lead you to depression. Due to these, even if there is failure on a terrestrial term, you will still have the inner strength to survive. So action happens now. Results might be delayed. And every action has an appropriate result. And the residue of those actions are stored in our subconscious and transferred into the next life, to be played again and again and again. So again, it comes back to this question of inequalities. Inequalities are a matter of the mind. The soul has nothing to do with it. Mind compares between past and present and also between one another. It breeds discontent based on equalities. This creates fear, anxiety, jealousy, and many other things. It has the potential to destroy oneself and also all others. Wars happen in the mind first and spill over into a nation. With peace, it is the same. So acceptance of oneself is the necessity. It gives peace of mind. Shanti. Very good reading for me today. I really enjoyed that, and I hope you did too. My name is Chris. I'm at the Mohanji Centre of Benevolence in Scotland, and that was another reading from the book Power of Purity by Mohanji on deserving levels, coming from, I think, the questions to him on inequalities. How come this is happening in my life, and how come that person has something, or how come this is happening to somebody else and not me? So that's on inequalities. Thank you for watching. Do like, comment, or share, and do request any topics that you would like me to read from the book. It has many on life, spiritual path, and all sorts of matters, and I'll be more than happy to. See you next time for another reading. Thank you.